Hi guys, Alex Simpson, Apex Racing Academy. We are back in the Formula Renault. We are at the Nurburgring, a little bit ahead of schedule because I didn't fancy doing the suspension video at Bathurst. Anyone who might have caught my track guide video will probably know how I feel about that combination. So, yep, skipped ahead. We're going to get the suspension done, and I might even go ahead and do the dampers while we're at it. That would just be kind of like a brief sort of description, just because there's only so much detail you can go in on the dampers and what they do before we step on the toes of like the advanced class. Just to sort of give you an idea of what I've done so far, I've just gone ahead and just done basically took the sort of the Rodolanta set that we were working with, readjusted the aero back to a higher level because I just feel like higher wings are going to be better here. There's a lot of corners where you're going to be sort of just waiting. You want all that downforce you can get to get the car stuck to the ground. Through some of these corners. Yes, we have got a long straightaway section, but I don't think we're going to benefit too much from there. A lot more cornering force required. I did a little 5-lap run just to check tyre pressures and everything else like that. Yeah, 134, maybe 138, because it takes a lap or two just to get the right pressure up, so maybe you don't want to be vulnerable a little bit in the first lap of the race. So but I think towards the end of the run the 134 will be better. Again, it depends on the weather. Obviously if it's colder then you're going to want to put them up and down, and I basically just ran with the same cambers that we had from the other set. They look pretty good from Rodolanta, so seem to be evening out fairly evenly. I think it's worth pointing out as well is that once you get some bases that you're happy with, then you're more than likely going to be you're going to have some very similar sets, where you're just going to be changing a few clicks on the wing here and there, and maybe a click of camber depending on how much camber is actually on the circuit, and a little bit with the suspension, maybe a click softer or a click stiffer. Same with the anti-roll bar, things like that. So you're not going to be doing massive changes once you get a base that you're comfortable with. Right, as per usual, let me go ahead and I'll run a few laps. Sorry, just bring that up. Yeah, so I've already pre-saved it, but it's basically the same as the Rodolanta one that I'd shared. We run a few laps on what we got here, and then we'll start to look at the suspension. So we're going to cover the spring rate, in turn a little bit we'll cover sort of ride height on the on that as well, spring rate on the back again with the ride height, and we will also cover the anti-roll bar. I also need to touch on the toe-ins because I didn't talk about them with the camber, but I'll put that. Actually, I'll wait and do that with kind of like the fine adjustments with the diff and things like that right at the end of the setup build. So yeah, just those few things. So the anti-roll bars and spring rates is what we're going to look at today. Yeah, we'll go and we'll adjust them all, and over the course of this video, like I say, it might be about another hour, so skip the bits where I'm in the car if you don't want to watch them, and get to the action where I'm starting to explain it. But yeah, I'll do one bit at a time, so there'll be three different sections that I'll be talking in, but you should be able to spot those easy enough from the video. Right, here we go. Let's just do a little run on this, and then we'll adjust the front spring after that and see what difference that makes. And I'll explain exactly what it actually what it does as well, just so that you're not aimlessly just trying it. Although there's only 2 settings, so it doesn't take a great deal of effort to just change it and go for a run and go, is that better? But you might want to know why it's better. So Nurburgring, I do like the circuit, the layout, but you know, it's one of, you know, when you have like a circuit that's kind of like your bogey circuit that you can just never get right, you know, you can never sort of get good pace out of. This is definitely mine. I always struggled here. Any sim game, anything that I've played it on, I've always sort of found myself to be a couple of tenths off, you know, rivals compared to normal, and you know, people that I would normally beat by a tenth or so, you know, they're sort of, you know, they're nipping me at the circuit. So yeah, not quite sure what it is, but yeah, something just doesn't quite gel with me. Oh. Goes then. My poor frame rates as well, 78 there. This place absolutely kills it. Everywhere else I'm 145 easy. Yep, oh, dipping down. Feels like I want to be in between gears through there. Sort of like 2.5, 2 feels a bit too low.
You got about 5 laps of fuel.
Doesn't quite have the rotation in the middle of the corner at the moment. I'm hoping we can sort that with the suspension to a degree. Turn for the final turn though, so we don't want to go too excessive with that, otherwise we'll struggle in places like that. So I think that's the issue with this place, so, you know, compromises has to go on everywhere. These sort of tighter corners were really struggling to get the car turned in the middle of the corner. High speed stuff, not so bad, but the slow speed stuff, yeah, not great. What we might have is just a tiny little bit too much aero, not enough mechanical grip, so we can look at if we can sort that. So we'll get the mechanical stuff sorted out and then we can adjust the aero later. Same as usual, 7.5 litres of fuel. We'll run it out and we'll see what we get. Oh, terrible. Mistakes. Caught on the curb. Car just does not want to get into some of these corners at the minute, so definitely got to get some more bite on the front end. So not coming out on corners as well. In the high speed sections, the aero balance is fine, you know. Like I say, I couldn't go any more, otherwise it's going to be, especially that last corner, it's going to be sort of throwing itself around. So a couple of the ones in the first sector. See, I'm just a bit hesitant about getting on the power as well. It just feels like I need to get the car to rotate off. Now I could do that with damping, but obviously I like to try and sort it out with suspension first. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I suppose that's good for us, because if it was spot on, then we wouldn't have much to show, would we? It'd be like, that's the settings they need to do.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Those curves, they'll get you later on, I can tell you that. Cars can be a bit unstable through there. Oh, I went downshift. Biggest bugbear with the car when you want it to downshift. Use that engine brake. Just won't engage. Tiny bit deep in. It's ever so bumpy through there, but actually the car's sort of taking it quite well considering. Key really is getting it into that corner so you can get out as quickly as possible. Oh, it's just absolutely terrible. be an improvement anyway. Right, okay, so we saw mid-56. So the main thing really I noticed there was, I'd say the middle, getting the car into those sort of slow to medium speed corners really. Just the car, especially in the middle, those really long corners, the car just didn't want to carry on rotating through the corner. Now that could be we can sort that out with like the differential, but we'll come on to that a bit later on. So we've got quite a bit of locking force going on with that, and that would free that up in the middle of the car. But and I think we're also we're stiff as we can get on the rear end. We could go up on the rear anti-roll bar because that's not quite stiff. That would get the car sort of turning a little bit more, but that's more, I think sort of the ARB is more sort of entry into the corner more than anything on the rear, and perhaps a little bit on the exit. So what we'll do is we'll focus on the front of the car at the moment, because really it's just all about getting that car to bite and turn. So we only have, what do we have? We have 3 options. Okay, so let's try. It was pretty extreme, so let's try going as low as we can. So yeah. Might be worth just doing 1. Yeah. We'll go lower and we'll see what it's like. Right, so 1, 2, 3, we need to keep an eye on what the ride heights do. So that's changed to 15. Right, it was 16.9. So because we want the same aero balance as we talked about in the old video, you know, the front end. Now this will be slightly softer, so as the air going over the car, that'll push it down to be a little bit lower anyway. So in essence we're giving it a bit more bite with the aero balance here, so we might actually need to go to like 17.2, something like that, to get the same aero balance going in. But for now, like I say, the only way to really know whether or not it is making that much of a difference into some of these sort of slow to medium corners is to jump on Motec and look at the ride heights at speed and see if there is a distinct difference with the spring rates changed. If you can't see anything, like you're talking like, well, what you're really looking for is exactly the same height going in. But if there's like 0.3 difference, then that's when you'd go up to like 17.2 if it goes lower by 0.3 of a mil. So you just bring it back up so you got the same sort of aero balance. It might be that actually that extra bit of balance is perfect, so you'd leave it alone. So it's just a way of micro-tune it, but be prepared that actually some of your high speed stuff might be a bit more oversteery now, so that you might just need to go a little bit higher on the front end just to compensate for that. But yeah, so the front spring obviously has two different things that it's going to do. So yes, it's going to affect the ride height. It's going to affect your ride heights at speed. So going down the back straight, for example, because this is softer, the front nose will dip down, which means you have. Let me just change it to this. So as you're just my hand signal. Hopefully you can see that. So as you're going down the straight, the wind will push the front of the car down. Yeah. It'll also push the back down as well, but because we're softer, obviously the front end will go down a little bit more than it was, which means you'll have a higher rake angle, which means you've got more drag, so actually it'll affect your straight line speed as well. So be mindful of that too, that if you're at a circuit that's all about straight line speed, you know, a stiffer one actually would be a bit better because it keeps it poked up, and I would go looking for the rotation elsewhere. Somewhere like Monza, for example, you want the car probably as stiff as you can get on the front, as soft as you can get on the back. Try and get the car to turn with the ARBs and the wings being as low as you can on the back of the car. So yeah, so what we're going to do, obviously, so I'm fully expecting obviously to be a little bit slower in a straight line now, and to have a tiny little bit more aero balance as well, because the same thing, because going into a corner, the softer it'll be, obviously the ride height speed should be a tiny little bit lower, so it should turn a little bit more there. But because it's a bit softer, we'll have a bit more grip in the middle of the corner as well, so we should be able to stay tucked into those corners a little bit easier and get on the power a bit earlier, and it will grip coming off the corner, give us a bit of extra rotation coming off. So that's the idea that I'm going to go for here. Now obviously you've got 3 different levels, they'll all do different things to that extent. So the stiffer it is, obviously it won't turn as much in the middle of the corner. It'll give you more stability in sort of coming off the corner. So if you're over rotating coming off the corner now, then go stiffer on the front spring. But if you just got massive understeer, then obviously go softer. Is the general rule of thumb, but be aware of the fact that it does affect your aero balance as well and your straight line speed. So it's more than just mechanical effect with these aero cars. It has it has that effect as well. Right, let's give it a blast and see what it is, see what it does. So really the corners are those 2 sort of hairpinny corners. I want to be trying to find some time there. Those were the ones that the car really didn't want to get in. So hopefully like I say, the 2 corners where we sort of approach it a bit quicker, this one and the final corner. Maybe the one coming up as well, the left-hander. I don't think also the left-hander after the Schumacher S. I don't think the Schumacher S is going to be too much of a problem itself. Oh, I was on the right line, I might tell, but I'm just boarding around. Well, I think you can see that coming off the corner, even with the heavier car at the moment. Still isn't even anywhere near the going over the exit curve, so might be what we want. Whether it's too much or not though, we'll wait and see if we've got any kind of like oversteer coming off the corner now. Just got a bit of understeer there. That might be a bit of ARB at the back. Like I say, it was more coming off the corner. We want a bit of extra rotation, but we'll get to that. And no oversteer coming off of there, so that's good. Better through that section as well, just much more grip through there. A bit hesitant on the gas more than anything there, just couldn't quite get it tucked in initially. Too early on the power. Definitely feels a little better. See, this is only the first lap as well, so considerably better through there as well. Just sort of gets into the corner better. So I think a bit of extra ARB will finish that off. Oh, big curb. Ain't gonna help. Okay, so I'm turning in a fraction too early for that corner now as well. We're getting into the apex way too soon. We want a late apex there, so it is giving me a bit of extra turn there, but it's not sort of oversteering, which is a good thing. better through there. Whistling out and getting on the power there. Bit early the first time, overcompensated there. We got into the corner nice and got around. I was hugging the apex lovely. This time. Too bad. So much better on the exit there. We're carrying more speed off the corner, which is why we look like we're going faster in a straight line. So we already improved the time. Not as aggressive on the exit, but it was good. There we go, picked up the gas a bit earlier there, used the curb and improved the optimal. Early. Shame, a good lap until then. Too aggressive going in there, way too much speed. Interesting, the two corners that I really was hoping to massively improve. Not really, but actually it's gains everywhere else. Too early on the downshift. What am I doing?
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
God, that's an absolute killer. You don't want to be doing that, I'll tell you. Totally not. Okay. Well, it's quicker, but my driving's let me down there. I went quicker a lot earlier in the session, so not by massive amounts though, I have to say. Just a tenth and a bit, but optimals came off quite a chunk. Just need to. Wonder if it's just too far. Oh, is it 0.9? I thought it was 0.9. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try the one in the middle. We'll just see what that does. I didn't like the way it got a little snappy on that left-hander after the Schumacher S. See if it's any better or not. I mean, like I say, it's only a couple of settings, so it's pretty easy to test, doesn't take a great deal of time. Important thing is you know what it does, why you'd want to change it down. Come out, definitely feeling it just doesn't have the grip coming out the corner quite so much. Doing the first lap, mind you. Do you know what? I'm going to put it over right now because I can already feel in the areas that I want it. That other one just improved in so many other areas, bar the two sort of hairpinny corners. So that's going to be like a differential change that we're going to have to sort of fix a bit later on. Jeez, can't believe how much different that felt straight away. Right, so let's go back to 16.9. Right. Okay, so we've basically just gone back. That's all we did there. So we've got to go for a bit more grip on the front end, just mechanically to help pull the car around. and coming off the corner it just makes it a little better. And in the middle as well, we just got a little bit more grip. And some of those long corners, that's the thing with Nurburgring, there's lots and lots of long corners where really are leaning on the tyre that we want to get absolutely the max out of the tyre as possible. What's up on there? It didn't go to 9, did it? There we go. Tell you what we'll do. Nurburgring. That was the one. Right. Okay. So that's the the front suspension. So just nothing to it. Explained. So let's talk about the rear. Now we've got, again, not too many, just 3 spring packages that we can use on the rear of the car. And again, if we wanted more sort of mid-corner or entry, mid-corner rotation and exit rotation, then we'd want a stiffer car. That will make the car turn a lot more than what it's doing right now. Of course, we're already maxed out, so I can't really go any further with that. And I certainly don't want to make it any softer, because that will just make it rotate even less. And as I was explaining earlier on as well, with the rear, the softer the rear spring rate is, effectively when you're going down the straight, again, though, as the wind pushes over the wings, it pushes the rear end down, so the stiffer that is, the more it will keep it poked up in the air. Now the softer you go, obviously that will drop down as well. So much like I was saying about Monza, you make it nice and soft at the back and get the rotation through the wings instead. Go up negative or go down on the rear wing, because that will give you more straight line speed and the car will turn nicely if you need it to. But that will give you the grip. That'll give you straight line speed, but also it'll give you more grip coming out of the chicanes. And again, if we were struggling with grip and coming out of any of the corners here, that is what I'd basically suggest that we do. Just drop that rear spring a little bit, give us a little bit of extra traction coming off of the corner. But I have no such issues, so I certainly will not be going down on that. Or if anything, I want more turn. So what I'd now be looking at is the anti-roll bar, because we're not quite on as stiff as we can get with the ARB. So maybe if we go up to, let's just try one click up, so a P4 stiff. Again, the anti-roll bar, let me put it back on here. Yeah, it was on P4 soft. Sorry, I just need to make sure that you can see the screen I'm looking at. And you can. Yeah, so it was on P4 stiff, so I'm just going to go to soft, sorry, so I'm going to P4 stiff. So just a little bit stiffer, not too much. We're quite stiff already, we haven't got too much room to go. So we're getting a lot of the turn mechanically through this setup right now. And that's really because the diff is quite tight. What that does is it should obviously give us a little bit of extra rotation off of the corner. And also that we can play with the dampers as well quite a bit to get a bit of extra turn too, but we'll come to that in another video. So yeah, so let's just try the P4 stiff. So the way the anti-roll bar works, because it's a bit stiffer, it'll make the car want to respond quicker, so it'll get into the corners. So it's good for chicanes, again, be very, very useful for like Monza, you know, quick direction change. You want it nice and stiff if you can get it. Drop the spring rates in return to get the traction back, because obviously it also gives you, the bar gives you a fair amount of traction coming out of the corner as well. If you find, again, your car is over rotating coming off of the corner, then drop the ARB down. If you haven't got enough rotation coming off the corner, go up on the ARB. That will help with that. Like I say, mid corner, if the rear is coming away, then maybe go down on the springs. We did have, like, it was a little bit loose, wasn't it, through the Schumacher S, just after Schumacher S, and sort of turn 3, going into there. So maybe, you know, the 158 might be a little bit better and going up on the ARB to get the exit rotation, but I'll leave you to try that as a test. But that should give you a little bit more grip in the middle of the corner, while the ARB helps get you back. It'll give you rotation in and out of the corner. So right, let's give this a whirl and see what happens. Ideally, if we can get the times into the 155s, I think that would be okay. I mean, I don't really know what a crazy hot lap's going to be like here. I know some of the guys spending a bit more time in the car than me are a little bit quicker, but I would think already it'd be a fairly competitive. But definitely feel like I've got, unlike Road Atlanta, definitely feel like we're going to have to do some work on the damping. Just to help the balance of the car a bit, getting in and out of these corners, because yeah, just feel like I'm just missing a little something. But this bar might change it, so we can go all the way up if we need to, as long as we don't start getting squirrely coming off of the corners. Then you know, then I'm happy. That's what you get for going into a corner 2 gears too high. Not sure where I was there. Just for your reference, it's 1:45 in the morning for me, so getting a little late. Probably should have started this a little bit earlier. Right, here we go. Felt that little bit of kick coming off there, just a fraction more. Combination of the softer front end. Tyres a lap just to build up the pressure before we judge it. Improvement in that sector now as well. I think it's what we were after. Too early on the gas. Said it should be better through the chicanes. Comes off the corner nice now through that final turn. So it would have been quicker, even though it was a pretty shoddy lap, I have to say. quite like that curve. It's the only thing, obviously, when we stiffen up the car, it's going to react to slightly different curves as well, so be mindful of that. Might just need to tweak our line a fraction just to deal with that. Getting in. Not sure at the minute. Just went in a bit early. Compromise the exit a bit. Sure what gear to be in there yet. Just a bit hesitant to attack that curve that time. Wasn't too bad. Quicker again. I think I could have gone quicker than that with the other set, to be honest, so still not convinced at this point. Taking time off the optimal though, it's definitely quicker through that corner if you can nail the line. Too early on the gas, so just compromise the exit speed so I have to get out of the throttle. definitely is turning into that corner a lot sharper, just having to adjust the lines a fraction. Drive out of there that time. It's good. There's all sorts of wrong through there. Totally knobbed it up. 0.2 loss. What an idiot. That could have been me 55. That's a lot of time. So I can really attack the entrance, I can drive the car in a lot deeper in there, won't get another lap in. Well, yeah, that was quite a bit better in the end. You've got to change the line slightly, because obviously the car does get in a bit quicker, so I'm having to go slightly deeper into the corners, and then I can drive the car out as well on using the bar to get the rotation. So yeah, definite marked improvement. There we go. Rightio. Well, that's where we're at. If you wanted to have a look, mark it down. By all means, you can. Doing reasonable times, I think. There, not like crazy great. There's a lot still to work on with the diff, with the maybe go even stiffer on this bar, with the damping. Toe-ins, there's still a lot to play with to gain time in this set as well. So, but yeah, so I hope that all makes sense now as to what everything does with the anti-roll bar on the back. You know, so basically, if you want more rotation in and out of the corner, then rear anti-roll bar. If you want more mid-corner rotation, rear springs, obviously less on the springs, and on the front, yeah, more mid corner rotation. Then go with the spring on the front, but just be mindful of how it affects it on the aero as well. So hopefully that's some good tips for you to understand, you know, how to maximize your straight line speed at places like Monza, you know, Road Atlanta. Where else has huge straights? Road America, if you ever go there. Watkins Glen, you know, high speed circuit, things like that. So yeah, any questions or anything like that, you know, or you're unsure about, just post in the thread, and I'll try and help you as best as I can. And of course, anyone watching it as well, I will all the advanced course, sort of advanced setup course, where we bring in Motec, and I'll perhaps go into a little bit more detail about, you know, optimal areas and things like that to try and look for. That's all inside the Academy 2.0 section, and sign-ups are going to go up for that in week 13 as well. So again, I'll start a thread. Probably just use the one that's already in the Formula Renault, just sort of letting you know, putting the videos up there again so you can see it. and yeah, hopefully we can get rolling with with that, and get a load of people in. It's been great. I mean, working with everybody in the academy this season. Hopefully you guys will be back for another season as well. It's a great little community in there, and actually it's starting to they're starting to resemble their own little team, which is awesome. Yeah. Right, thanks very much, guys. Bored you enough, and yeah, we'll try and push on and get the damper video done this week as well, at this circuit, so you'll have a bit more of a tweaked setup to go and have a play with, and I'll explain exactly what they all do. But for now, that's me signing off, and I will I'll catch you on the next video.